For Matt Cohen, I'm Griffin Gonzalez here for the Hoosier Network as we were just introduced to the next offensive coordinator for IU football, Kalen DeBoer. Now, Matt, Kalen DeBoer in here, lots of experience. What did you think from your initial reactions?
I thought the initial thing that stuck out to me was how aggressive he plans to be. I think last season we kind of criticized the team a lot for a lot of the dink and dunk passes and a lot of the shorter throws that were short of the sticks, especially on third downs. But I think this year DeBoer didn't want to be too aggressive to the point where he was reckless, and he said that while he was talking. But I think he just wanted to focus on putting more points on the board, not necessarily making the fans happy. That's not his job necessarily. He wants to win football games, and what it's going to take to win football games, he believes, is being aggressive but not reckless.
What were you most surprised with what he was saying in his press conference about what he wants to do this year?
I think actually it was what Tom Allen said that surprised me more. Tom Allen emphasized the tight end position, which I thought was a little interesting because that wasn't really utilized very much last year. Peyton Hendershot, the leading tight end on the team, had under 200 yards, I believe, and just 2 touchdowns all season. I think they want to get him involved more in the passing game. I think that's a good thing. It adds another element to IU's offense. I think that's something that DeBoer can do, being more aggressive. And I mean, it's just going to be interesting change, though, because we didn't really see that used much last year.
Tom Allen said he wanted to find a guy who had experience coming in and fixing a program right away. Do you think he got that in DeBoer?
It's hard to tell. He's never coached a Power 5 program, and that doesn't mean that he can't, obviously. This is Tom Allen's first job, as he said during this press conference, was here. This was his first Power 5 job. He's been at programs where he's rebuilt. He talked about that at Fresno State. He turned around that offense dramatically to a team that this season, really, if UCF had lost, might have been the Group of 5 team that made the playoff. I mean, not the playoff, the New Year's Six, excuse me. I think that's something he could do, but he said he wants to win now. Maybe, but he also talked about laying the foundations for years 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I think that's more of where they need to be looking right now. I think Tom Allen maybe wants to see more improvement from the offense in year 1. They need to get to a bowl game, I think, at minimum, but not necessarily be the team that's pushing Ohio State and pushing Michigan to the limits right in DeBoer's first year.
What are you most excited about this hire?
I want to see them throw the ball downfield a little more, especially with some of the quarterbacks they have now. We actually don't know who the starter is going to be, but I think with a guy like Tuttle and with Penix, they have the arm to stretch the field more and use the size they have on the perimeters, especially with a guy like Donovan Hale and Nick Westbrook. I think that's something they need to utilize next season. And DeBoer mentioned it briefly, but I think he really wants to use those outside receivers a lot more.
And finally, obviously, Mike Hart in the rumor mill for a new job at Notre Dame. What does that mean for Kalen DeBoer here if he does end up taking that job for the Irish?
I think it's going to hurt the offense. You can't lose a coach who's built such a great running back room here and not have it hurt at all. I don't think it will hurt tremendously, but there will definitely be a step. I don't know if it's a step back, but maybe recruiting might take an impact in some way. Kalen DeBoer talked a lot about how he had strong ties in Chicago and in Michigan, where we've seen good running backs come out in the past. But I think Tom Allen did kind of hint to the fact that he is a little worried about Mike Hart leaving, as he was asked about if the staff will be retained next year. And while he said he likes the guys he has and would really, loves the guys and DeBoer said the same thing. It's got the impression that he's not confident. He would have outright said we're keeping the offensive staff if he felt they were all going to be back. At least I would assume, but he didn't. And I think that's maybe you read in between the lines a little bit, something to be nervous about.
Well, it's definitely a storyline we will be watching. Be sure to stay tuned to the Hoosier Network, Matt and I, as we're going to keep you covered on all that information and more all season long. For Matt Cohen, I'm Griffin Gonzalez here for the Hoosier Network at Memorial Stadium.